All right, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Metalheads Unite, special edition today because we have the uh, Finnish metal band Arched Fire with us. We've got three of the members here with us today, so appreciate you guys taking time out of your evening here because I know it's evening over there. Y'all are kind
Yeah.
of kick back and relaxing. You got one hiking and one in a
Yeah.
sauna, and Ari's just kind of chilling. So everybody's kind of
Yeah,
winding down over there. It's kind of
That's
crazy. We're starting our day and everybody else is winding down. So
but
yeah,
that's what I like about it. And and having three different members of the band who just everyone's doing their own thing. Ari's
right,
hanging out, Christian's in the woods, and
yeah.
Aslak is in the sauna just hanging out, man. I just love it.
Christian, why the fuck you laughing at me? I'm in sauna. It's a, it's just a thing.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a beautiful thing.
yeah, beautiful. uh, I want to get to probably the question that you guys are probably asked more than any,
Hmm.
but just wanted to kind of pick your brain here because I see where you guys kind of originated in '89 and then kind of came back to life in 2019. Just kind of wondering what happened with that initial startup, and then what happened with waiting so long to get things popping. So
well,
Uh,
you know,
this is
you
a
know,
this is a point question for Ari. Ari, can you answer?
yeah, sure, I can. Uh, well, in 1989, we were like 14, 15 years old, so we were just kids
gotcha.
who got their first instruments and formed a band and started learning to play. So it was kind of a kid stuff, although we did write our own songs already from the beginning. It was kind of a learning process. We played around 10 gigs during that year or two we were together, and it was kind of a we were just just starting out, and we didn't really get anywhere yet. We are from a small town in Finnish Lapland, and there was no metal scene to join or anything, so we were pretty much by ourselves there. And the gigs we had, we played with like older guys,
Hmm.
some different kind of bands. We were probably the only speed thrash metal band there, and I always felt like we had some good ideas and good songs and good riffs, but we were just a bunch of kids. We were too young to really make it work back
Right,
then. And then life happened. We went our separate ways,
hmm,
schools, work, whatever,
right.
and everyone still kept playing in bands and all that. And then, as enough time has passed, we always kept like some contact, like phone call here and there and all that. And then came a day, when Mika called me and we started talking about the old days and the old band, and we just decided to do it again. So it's been great.
Yeah, that was kind of the one of the other questions I was going to have is you guys kind of seem like y'all guys kind of stayed in touch throughout the years because obviously four of the members have been around since the beginning. So
Yeah.
Yeah, on and off. I mean, uh,
and
I'm sure that there was like could be like 10, 15 years that none of us saw each other because we had our own
wow,
lives and all things. But every now and then there was a text message or a phone call or whatever. So we kind of kept in touch and always stayed friends.
hmm now did you
Sorry to
guys
say,
did you
sorry to say I continue with Ari that I think it's some kind of a thing, some kind of a monster because Lars is my man. But it's always there.
mhm,
It's
Yeah,
always there. Like I run in 83, 84 to Mika. We were neighbors then, and we became friends. But it's always there. You don't have to see your friend like a 10 years, but it's there.
mhm,
yeah,
yeah,
And
yeah.
then it just happened. I always dreamed that Arctic Fire be something, but
mhm,
like I dump it But then those guys called me, hey, fuck up. We are doing it again. And now we are like a family, But and we start again where it stops, where it ends. And there is no matter of years what happens between.
Yeah, it was kind of, I suppose. Sorry, I have one thing to say. Yeah, because it was our first band. Kind of, we played our first gigs with it, and it was kind of a tight unit in 89, 90 when we played, and it was sort of always in the back of our minds, kind of, that we could do something with it when the time was right. But yeah.
Well, that's one thing I thought was amazing. It's like when I read this, I'm like, dude, that's kind of crazy. They started in, you don't hear that a lot of people, a lot of these bands starting in the late 80s, early 90s, and then kind of separate, and you don't ever see that many members still in the band when they reform. So I was just kind of like, wow, that's amazing that you guys are able to keep that many members intact, even after all those years and all that, all that kind of years that you guys weren't really playing. So did you guys play in any other like bands or anything during that time, or you just waited to get that together?
Yeah, we always have played. Yeah. I've been playing all the time. The folk music, the rock music. I have a band who recorded 7 albums, but it never come out anything more than like an album. Mm-hmm. And I always crave about the Arctic Fire, but I think it was a dream that I never gonna get. And then one day, you can say asshole, you can say fucking America, but those guys just call us, what about? And that was the point. And as you see, 2 albums, we are just now on the top of the waves again, and we have a good songs.
Yeah, and honestly, I think the newer album is better than the first album, which is a testament in itself. Is because a lot of people, a lot of bands that we talk about try to like be better the second time around, and we've talked about this before on our show. Is like they just seem like they tried, they try to get there, but then we like the first album better. But it's hardly ever you get to where they get better every year, and I think that you guys definitely, and after hearing this, the trust betrayal, I'm just like, man, I can't wait to hear the next one comes.
Ask something now from Christian, because Christian brings so much. I think.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm the Lars of Metallica of the band. The asshole. But ask Christian, and Christian have many words to say, but he brings so much for the second album. Mm-hmm. He brings so much, and I'm so loved him. But ask Christian what he thinks about the second album.
Yeah. So was Christian the vocalist on the first album?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
But it was the first album that I joined the band for the vocals.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So
yeah.
Yeah, so Christian.
Yeah, I think the response for the first album was great, and we just kept pushing it through and better and more hard, and we just made it how we liked it. So, and the guys in the band just keep pushing me to doing the higher and louder vocals for it, and that's how it came to be.
Chris, you had a question?
Yeah, I was just going to ask Christian. I mean, how he came, how his involvement in the band came about. Because the first album, because like we've already established, the core of the band, has been around since 89, 90. So we're talking 30 years at this point, and then Christian shows up, for the first album that comes out in 21. So we're just talking, basically 2 albums basically at this point with inside, a couple of calendar years. So how did Christian, how did your involvement in the band actually come about?
Yeah, I think the first
yeah, Actually, well, I never lived in Lapland, and I've always lived here in the south of Finland. And I was born like almost 10 years later than these guys. And so it was kind of circumstances that I was in a band, in a death metal band with Mika Rytilahti, our bass player. And
Album.
yeah, Mika just one day he sent me this song called Escape. I didn't know about this band back then, but he asked if I could do some vocals for it, and
I was the singer. Hope we get Christian now. Continue.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, we can. Yeah, yes, we can. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. I think that us like sauna Wi-Fi is having some troubles now and then.
I kind of lost you guys for a moment there, but yeah, back in the 89 and 90, we were always looking for a singer. We wanted to have a front man and a singer, and there just wasn't any in our hometown. No
Because
one was singing this kind of music.
I was the drummer and the singer.
Yeah, he was the drummer and the singer, and that was probably one of the reasons why we stopped, because it wasn't really going anywhere with that lineup. And but then when Mika brought Christian in for the first album demos, it was right like, yeah, this is the guy. This is the guy we were looking for back in the day even.
So Christian,
yeah, and the vocals on Escape were pretty much the same that went to the album. I think we just changed a couple of lines back to the very original version that Asu was singing, where Aslak was singing those lines.
Okay, so Christian, was your background up until joining Arched Fire? Was your background vocal wise in death metal?
No. Well, I was in a thrash metal band.
Okay.
Doing vocals before that, and then when that started to go down, I joined the death metal band that Mika was in. Then I played guitar in that band.
Oh, okay. All right, I got you. Because I was gonna say there are very, very short periodic moments of a hint of gutturals every once in a while in a couple of these songs, but they're few and far between. But I wanted to ask you about that anyway. What kind of like the influences that you had for your vocal style? Because I mean, your range is so ridiculously broad. I mean, we've heard a lot of vocalists, obviously doing, even before we started the show, being music, metal fans in general. Obviously, we know of the iconic vocalists, but listening to this album and then hearing just the range that you have, from your just the overall range that you have. So, like, what are some of your influences that got you to your vocal style where it is now?
Well, I think it pretty much started with Eric Adams of Manowar, and after that, there's been a lot of influence like Chuck Billy and Joey Belladonna, and maybe Corpse Grinder, Chuck Schuldiner. Many influences. I like so much different kinds of metal, all kinds of metal. So that's how I ended up doing all kinds of styles.
Well, go ahead, Jason.
And the Reaper, of course, Reaper and Halford.
There you go.
Well, Halford was one of the guys that kind of stuck out to me when I first heard the album. And I actually had that, I think, in the album review when I did the album review. So definitely got an old school, Rob Halford, Bruce Dickinson type vocal style. So So yeah, definitely. Like the song "Pestilence," where you had Tim Ripper Owens, which is one of both of mine and Chris's favorite vocalists. So,
Yep.
so
Yeah.
to have him on that song is like pretty amazing. And like I think you guys complemented each other very well with the vocal styles there too. So that to me, if I was a great vocalist, that would be kind of intimidating to me, because I mean I think Ripper's one of the guys that we kind of love. So if it was him or John Bush or somebody like that, I would probably be freaking out trying to record a song with them.
That we were so excited. At least I was when we got the tracks from Reaper, and they were so amazing. Yeah.
Can I say something?
Hold on a moment. I was about to say that was kind of mind blowing to me to think that, because one of the first songs we played back in '89 when we were 14, 15 was Pestilence. It was a totally different song, but it had the same riffs. And it never ever even crossed my mind that someone who's been in Judas Priest would someday sing on that song. So it's kind of amazing.
Yeah. And it's funny that many times you, Christian, knew that I love when you rip my kind of tune in Pestilence. There is a similarity about the Pestilence, but you make it a cent level. But a point, it's funny that the second album, the first album, half say no, half say yes, half say no, half say yes, and it's always the Christian voice. It's annoying or the perfect, and but when we get 4 stars out of 5, but it's always, but it's funny how it departs those loving about it, but nothing ever happens best than Christian, and I love it. The last thing I read about us was there was Metallica. Okay, they say me, Lars, the motherfucker, and the King Diamond, and that was Christian, and still it ripped it half like, half not. But you never can you never can do an album for everyone.
That's true. Yeah.
So
that's very true.
Half likes, half not, and we must be happy those halves who love it. And still, it not makes us a great band or a bad band. But that guy, when he opens his mouth, I love it every second. He says something from there.
Yeah, we weren't aiming for mainstream vocals or mainstream music here. So it divides people.
Well, and we've said that before. I mean, people, like you guys may, and hell, even us to a certain extent, we're putting a show out there. You guys are putting music out there. You guys are creating albums and you're playing shows and everything. So you're running into people who, like like Aslak said, who are going to have an opinion one way or the other. And you get to a point where the people who may not like something or whatever, it's just not for them, and you just have to realize that, because it's like he said, you're not gonna make something that everybody likes. So you do the best you can for for you guys. You guys put it together, you guys come together, you record it, and you like how it turns out, and you put it out, and then it's like, hey, people are gonna like it and people aren't. So
but I always want to be a Lars, because in the '83, like I said, I bring the cassette for Mika. But what I have now read about our this crash of the albums is that I'm so proud that every review says that if you like East Coast thrash metal, go and see this. And in my biggest dreams, I never even I've been even said that I'm the new to Charlie Penante, and that's a lot from Kemijärvi boy.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, the East Coast
there's
thrash metal seems to
30%.
be the reference point often with us.
There's 30% who like us, and I'm proud. Even 1%, I'm proud. I have doing something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, y'all are definitely doing something great, in my opinion. So,
Yeah, you absolutely should be proud. Absolutely.
So,
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see, Chris. I was going to try to put that album cover on here and try to talk to him about that, but I don't know how to do all that. So, we had to swap.
Oh, okay.
We had to swap admin. So Chris usually does all this stuff, and
I got you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got you. Hold on.
So I always did, like, we actually just kind of went out on our own recently. We were with another platform, and they kind of controlled like a radio side of things, which I did, and then he kind of controlled the video side of things. So,
Okay.
so we're no longer with those guys. We kind of branched out on our own and was so it's kind of we're all still trying to like get everything divvied out where we can actually stay on top of everything. So,
all right, hang on just 1 second here. I got it right here. You have to excuse me. I'm kind of getting over a sinus junk. So, all right, let's see what we got. All right, here we go. Come on. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna say there we go.
it makes me add it. It makes me
There
add
we
it.
are.
So,
Yeah,
There we go.
So
that was some.
There it is.
So what was the idea behind the album cover?
Well, it was basically, we were thinking about what should we call the album, and we went through the lyrics, and it seems like there was a lot of themes about trust and betraying. So we decided to just call it Trust Betrayal, and of course the betrayal part here is what inspired the picture. It's kind of like Batman and Two-Face, the character in Batman.
That's the first thing that came. That's the first thing
Yeah.
I want to see this. So.
Yeah, and we asked this guy Jan Yrlund. He's a graphic designer and visual artist who plays in a thrash metal band called Prestige here in Finland. It's a really good band. You should check them out.
I was about to say I'm writing that band name down.
Yeah,
right
I
now.
am too. So.
Yeah. They are actually also they were active in the late '80s, and they are back now with a new album. So you should check it out. It's really good.
Yeah.
So
that was a thing that kind of like is becoming a common topic on our show. Is talking about bands that were around in late '80s, early '90s, and like I said, you kind of had that, kind of a dead period where they weren't doing anything, and now they're back doing things. And this is so great because you got newer bands too, so it's kind of like you're getting all this new music, and that's awesome to me because I love checking out and learning about new bands because, and that's part of why we do this is because we, not saying I could go out and get Metallica, but I mean, what stories are they going to tell that we don't already know? It's kind of like we want people to learn about new bands and try to, like, hopefully you guys gain some fans out of the deal, and maybe we gain some of your fans out of the deal on our podcast. So it's kind of hopefully it'll be a win-win. Of course, we don't know that for till numbers kind of start showing up. But
about the cover painting. The guy who painted that said that it took him a long time to finish the painting because he wanted to, there's with the Two-Face facial expressions. He did a version of it, and then he decided that he could change it a bit so that you couldn't really tell which side you can trust. Right. If the monster side is the good side, or is the average man, can you trust him? So there was kind of that kind of thing going on.
You can kind of relate this to a life in general too, because you know at times everything on the left side there is so perfect a lot of times, and then all of a sudden something happens and then your world's burning down. So
yeah.
So definitely.
Hey guys,
Yeah.
can I tell you one story?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. This album is called Trust Betrayal. It's been set up long ago, last autumn. It's something about my life, but the release day. Ari, Christian, have you ever talked about it? It released in the long Friday.
Yeah, the Good Friday. Yeah,
And
exactly.
and
That's the
I
day of
thought that
betrayal.
why in the holidays? Why? But now,
Yeah, but
guys,
it's
sum it together. Trust, betrayal, the long Friday. Why?
Right.
Who
yeah,
is
it's
he?
called.
The
I mean,
wormhole Carabelotti is a really intelligent man. I think Judas.
Yeah,
Why
exactly.
Trust Rail and the Long Friday?
Yeah, we call it.
I never cross about that before after 2 weeks about that. Have you, Ari
Yeah,
and Christian, never thought about it? Why?
No,
yeah.
I didn't know
I
that.
was just thinking about it. Well, we call it a Long Friday in Finland. It's actually Good Friday in English, but it's a
Yeah.
good day to release a record called Trust Betrayal. I don't know if it's a coincidence, but it's very fitting, though.
Yeah, definitely fit.
Yeah. All fits in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, a lot of things happen in the entertainment business. Kind of like not to quote Bob Ross, but they wind up being happy little accidents. So
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, Ari, can you tell us about the badge the guy is wearing?
About what? Oh, the badge.
That-
Yeah.
I was
That's
actually,
actually
I was gonna ask that. I was sitting here looking at it, and I was actually gonna ask the same thing. So yeah, thank you for that, Christian.
yeah. Jan, who designed the cover, asked me if I had if we had some picture that he could use in this guy's vest, like in a badge. And we had this picture of a mosquito because it's pretty difficult to explain to someone who's not from Finnish Lapland, but Finnish Lapland is filled with mosquitoes. It's really,
Okay.
really difficult to be there in summertime. And that's kind of a reference to our roots.
Okay.
So I think people who know where we come from understand that. But that's why there's a mosquito in the West.
So if we travel over there, bring plenty of repellent, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, we were thinking about the mosquito logo in
Yeah.
the very beginning of the before the
you
remote
should.
control album. And,
Actually,
that here now.
yeah. Actually, when we made that, the first song for us, like guys, we built that dream record company called Mosquito Records, Ari. and because just a memorial for us, but then don't say the wormhole did trap us, and that the mosquito record never get filled up. But we have the logo and we have the idea, but lives go, but the mosquito stays.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Christian's definitely more metal than all of us, then, because he's out there with them. So.
But we are
mosquitoes
printing.
haven't.
Yeah, but we are
Yes, they
printing
sleep
the
in the-
t-shirts where the mosquito is going. So, order guys one, we are doing it.
I will. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you kind of brought up the kind of the religious tie-in, and I had to go back and look at some of the title or some of the tracks on the album, and man, you could probably go down with 5 or 6 of these tracks, and just by not knowing anything about that, you could probably say, oh, well, there's a lot of religious based stuff going on here, even though it may not be meant to be that way. So it's kind of funny you brought that up, and I was like, oh wow, that's kind of crazy because you got Fear and Pestilence and Narcissist and Blind Faith and Oblivion and all those types of things that kind of happen in the Bible. So it's kind of crazy that you brought that up. So
Well, the titles are actually from the 80s or 90s demos. So we kept most of the original titles of the songs and wrote new lyrics and changed a bit about the music. And I think Aslak knows most of the original titles.
Yeah, that's pretty wild to set on an album or a bunch of tracks for 40 years without being leaked anywhere. So, especially this day and age of internet. So
but the Christian blow from to those words, the new blow. He's a great poet. He's a great writer, and everything he writes, everything he sings, I just accept without hearing, because he is a lyric of the world in this time. I have never agree anything he wrote, and the new album songs most is from Christian, and he's a poet of this century, I can say. And I want you to grill him about these lyrics because he knows everything he knows and he says how it is. Mm-hmm. I'm just a poet drummer.
Hey, but you know what? The band can't be a band without a drummer. So
that's true.
A bass player, maybe, but I'm just kidding. We don't.
He's not here.
We always make the bass player jokes. And I was
Jason, do you want to have one secret?
Sure.
Our first gig in Kemijärvi, it's called a local farmhouse. It's called Työväentalo, but it's like the local farmhouse or something. Archie's Fires. The first gig, Ari plays guitar like a madman. I plays drum like a drum. Ari, and don't get that mad. But Mika, fooling around like a mad, but we put his amp to 0 because he plays so bad. And that was...
I really don't remember that happening, but...
And that was
before, but
Ari, don't you remember that was the airplay in the United Radio in Finland?
No, I don't. I don't remember it, but might be true.
Yeah, but that happens. But the gig was success.
Yeah, that's the main thing. As long as the gig was a success and there was a little money made, that's the main thing, right?
And that was
that was just a quite for you say that band can be without bassist. It can be.
Yeah, some of those garage rock bands. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Ari was smart. He deny.
Yeah. He's like, even if
I can't actually remember it.
Yeah, he said even if I did, even if I did, I'm not saying anything right now. So
yeah, right. It's all about band chemistry,
Yeah. Oh man.
Well, speaking of which, actually, since you brought that up, you guys said that you guys were all basically in your teens when you first met and you guys were first playing together. Was there any concern about the chemistry when you guys finally got back together, or was it just seamless considering that you guys did keep in touch all those years?
Well, it's kind of even though we did keep in touch to some extent, we really kind of had to learn to know each other again. And how it turned out, it's just people don't really change. We are basically the same people as we were 30 years before.
Sure.
So it's kind of strange if you think about it. If you're 15 and then you're closing to 50, and you're still really. I mean, Asu was exactly like that when he was 50. he's the same
Maybe
guy
some more
with a
tattoos, man.
beard.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't think this band's dedicated, you can just check out Ozlak's tattoos there. So I mean, it's all band oriented. So
trust
Yeah.
me. Trust me, the tattoos were going to come up at some point.
yeah. So
He's like
It's
a
my
walking
it's my
history.
midlife crisis, you know.
yeah. And I seen he had the arched fire on his forearm there too. So earlier, so
Hey, with the 4K diamond. Come on, guys.
Well, the good thing is like with his tattoos, he started with Remote Control here and Trust Betrayal there. So you guys got 4 or 5 more albums. He's gonna have tattoos all over down to his
We're
belly
gonna fill that guy up. Yeah.
Only thing, they're gonna have to be long. They're gonna have to get a little longer each time though, so they can go across.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. They got
The ones that go around him.
Yeah. As Ari says, I'm the walking historic of Arts of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go.
Yeah.
They say, can you show us all of your albums? And Aslak just take his shirt off and say, "Yeah, I got you." So
in order. Yeah, they're in order.
in order. Yeah.
They're in chronological order.
Awesome. So of course the new album's out. So have you guys gotten any tour dates set up to support yet, or?
No, we haven't played any gigs now that we're back together. It's partly because we live so far apart, so we don't get to rehearse. But now there's a couple of opportunities that we are thinking that maybe we should start playing shows, because we had a couple of good gigs that we'd really like to do. But it's a bit difficult with us because we honestly live around this country, so we don't have a rehearsal space or any kind of headquarters. We just
Gotcha.
but it might happen, you don't know.
We had talked to another band earlier. I have to go back and look and see who it was. We talked to a few this year, so it was Enzilu, Jess and Timu from Enzilu, and they were talking about how over there, if you weren't kind of the black metal, death metal type bands over there, it was hard to get on shows because they're more thrash too. So. Is that something that seems to be an ongoing issue there, or
that it's more difficult to get gigs when you're in a thrash band?
Yeah,
might be. It might be true. I don't really know. There are a few thrash metal bands and kind of a small scene in Finland, but it's really small and there's not that many venues to play at.
Yeah.
So it could be an issue, but obviously hasn't been an issue for us because we haven't played live yet. So.
Yeah. And then there was something else he kind of brought up that was interesting to us too, was that over there that he said most all of the shows, unless you're some big band, you almost have to play on the weekends because they don't really have a lot of shows go on during the week. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, which is
I mean, it's really common for bands in Finland when they do a tour, they only play at weekends. So
that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I guess that's probably why a lot of those bands try to come to the States, because we're kind of, hey, you want to do it on a Tuesday, let's do it on a Tuesday. It's like over here they really don't care, because I mean we're going to have people go regardless.
Yeah.
But in Finland you have to be a really big name that you can go Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. We have the jobs who supports our family life and stuff like that. Of course, when we now bang a big, so we don't have to think about the incoming.
Mm-hmm.
Then we can rehearse like a week or two, because and stuff like that. But now we have to think about, you have to pay your bread and your rent and your houses and stuff. But if we really big a bang, so we don't need to. But now the thing is that we need to really concern about when we can rehearse or where we can go, what we can do because of the income.
Yeah. Well, I know
Yeah,
And as always, as now we all know that you don't make millions anymore, like with the one album to make it all happen.
Mhm.
yeah, it's kind of
Those guys have a little children. It's not so easy to compare. We are, we are 50. We have to think about, of course, music, but of course, the housekeeping too. But
yeah,
I hope in one half year we always try with the Cadillacs, and then we just go to rehearsal and we go to world tours. And,
yeah. It's
and
kind
we
of
are doing it. It's Artist Fire's philosophy. End of the report.
Yeah. And I know there's like a big
yeah.
festival over there too that a lot of bands try to get on, and I think Anzilu actually couldn't talk about it when they were on our show because they hadn't really got confirmation, but they luckily they got on there. So I'm not sure. You remember which one that was, Chris?
No, I don't.
That's probably the Tuska festival in Helsinki. That's the biggest metal festival in Scandinavia. I think it's really a cool festival.
Yeah. So
please, Jason, please let Christian speak because Christian has so much to say. Please let him speak.
Yeah. Well, what I was thinking about the gigging, you said that it's not easy to get a gig if you're not playing black metal, but I think it depends the people the relationships you have, and we got a lot of gigs with my former thrash metal band, but we didn't have any gigs with my former death metal band. So I don't know about the black metal, but you people in the local bar don't want to hear that kind of music pretty much.
Yeah, which is crazy to me, but
like
I said, we don't live in that environment, so we're not used to hearing those things. So we're just kind of like, what, of course, not to say anything because I was in a biker bar and put on Machine Head, and that was too crazy for the biker bar. So
that's still boggles my mind. That still boggles my mind too.
I think the biker bars are the best place to go if you want to play that kind of music.
Which is wild. You would think that would be the places that would play the Judas Priests and Iron Maidens and stuff, but no, evidently not. So, so is that festival something that you guys would like to be on at some point, or?
Yeah, it would be fantastic to play there. Absolutely.
I know there's a lot of bands. Like I noticed that when I looked on there after Anzilu told us about that, I was looking at some of the other bands they announced, and a lot of those other bands were kind of younger too. So hopefully there's a good shot that maybe you guys can at least get on the next one, maybe. So we'll put it,
that would be fantastic.
We're gonna put this out there and tag them in it. Say at Chiska Open Air. Book these guys.
Yeah, let's do that.
But Jason, I want your graveyard opinion about Christian voice. As I said earlier, that it's split so much. Good, bad, smoker, not smoker, uak, walk, yeah. What do you think about Artist Fire's singer?
He's fucking great, man. Like I said, even with the song "Pestilence" with Ripper, it was almost kind of hard to distinguish who was singing. Which I mean, that's pretty amazing in my opinion. So, but yeah, everything about this album I loved. I was just going to tell you, I think Christian has
thank you, sir.
Probably some of the best range I've heard in a while.
Same.
It's kind of. We kind of go back to talking about the movie Rockstar a lot, and you think about these voices you haven't heard, and
yeah,
and it always like amazing. I always trying to go back to that. I'm just like, dude, it just kind of reminds me of that so much. It's like I don't know these guys, but this damn vocalist is freaking amazing. It's just like, and I'm not saying anything else about that. I mean, the whole album's great as far as the drumming, the guitar. I mean, everything was fucking awesome to me. A well put together album, I think too. I think the way it flowed really well. So.
It did, yeah. It was super. I mean, it was super duper easy to listen to, because like Jason said, everything, the way it flowed, the composition of the music, and with the vocals layered on top of it, it was so easy to listen to. You were down to the last track before you really knew what happened. It's like, holy shit, it's over already. Just
that sounds great.
The composition of each song, and then the way the songs were arranged, it just flowed so well for me too, because Jason was the one who actually did the initial album review on the show. So he did the album review and then told me, he's like, you need to check the album out, which we basically do to each other every week. It's like, I listened to this, you should check it out. And he's like, I listened to this, you should check it out. So he's the one who did the original album review. So he listened to it, and then he's like, yeah, you should check it out. Cause we're both thrash metal guys at heart. So when, he told me about it, I listened to it, and I listened to it back to back 2 times, in a row this week in order to get ready for the interview today. And I was actually, like I say, I was pretty much just as blown away as he was.
I think.
Can I ask you for a question? Christian has made most of it.
yes,
If I'm not wrong, but Janne Särkelä, the guitarist, is like how you say, Rush man. What about the artificial song? I think it's the song When We All Die. It songs in the heavens. What about your opinion about Artificial Sun? I think it's an epic song all the way. What's your opinion about Artificial Sun?
Yeah, honestly, I'm still kind of fuzzy with the track list, so I would have to probably, once I heard it again, I would be like, oh yeah, oh, that's the last track. Yeah.
The last track.
Yeah, like honestly, from start to finish, I don't think you guys probably could have ended it any better. Honestly,
I don't think so either, because for me that song, was, it was more or less an outro without it being just something instrumental to just tie the album together. And it kind of got my attention because it was a little bit of a change of pace as far as the rest of the album goes.
Exactly.
Definitely not in a bad way, but it kind of caught my attention. Like, oh, all right, this is, it was like a slight little twist that you would put on that one song, in comparison with the rest of the album, that just kind of just was like, all right, this is how this album is going out.
Yeah, well, there was that progressive middle part and things that we haven't done before. So, and lots of versatile segments.
Versatile, yes.
Yeah, I think the thing too with this album is, like, if you listen to it, you can, composition wise, you nothing sounds the same. It's like, and I think that's hard to do with. I mean, I'll go on and tell you right now. The new Metallica just came out. And at least 3 of those songs in there were almost mimic each other, except for a couple of different, kind of guitar lines or bass lines or whatever. But you don't get a lot of artists where you go down the list and you're like, none of this sounds the same, which is great, and I like that. That's one of the things I like.
Yeah, that's really nice to hear, because the first album, the Remote Control, people were saying that there was much similarity between the songs, and though we tried different kind of things there, but this time we did it even more.
Yeah, I could actually see that with a couple of songs on the first album, but yeah, definitely this album does not have any of that. So, and that's what I said. I think you guys are progressing in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So and I don't care if you're 50 or 100, man. You're dude, keep fucking.
We still have time.
You got two fans sitting right here. So
absolutely,
we believe you guys can definitely make it. As big as you guys want it to be, so the talent's definitely there. So
that's
both records have a lot of old ideas, old riffs, not old songs, but old segments of songs. I think we've pretty much used up all the old ideas now. So the next records, yeah, that kind of sounded strange, but I think the third album will be totally.
Now we
new
have
and
only
fresh.
new ideas left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me and Chris have talked about this on the show too a lot. Is like a lot of that sounds, even with newer bands, is coming back. It's like you hear these bands that's only been together like 4 or 5 years, and they sound like they're from the '80s. It's like
which is totally fine.
Yeah,
and I mean, I think that's great that they're keeping that sound alive. I mean, I think you got to me, you got to have a different sound nowadays to catch people's attention. And I think, honestly, I think if you had that sound, a lot of these younger people kind of touch onto that, and then they'll gravitate toward bands they may not know, like Testament and Anthrax, and bands like that. And they're like, oh shit, these guys have been around forever. I mean, we were at a Exodus Testament show last year, and there was like, you just look around in the crowd, and you're just so amazed at the different age groups that were there. It's kind of amazing that y'all younger people are still into the older music. So
yeah,
and it sounds different because it's not so compressed. It's the music kind of breathes more.
Yeah. That's a great way. That's a great way of putting it.
It
is a great way.
Still online? Yeah.
Yeah, you're good. Man. You're good.
Yeah, I think your camera just we could hear you.
We could hear you. Yeah.
Away, so.
Yeah.
Now, was there?
Well, okay. Yeah.
Was there with the hiatus that you guys had, and obviously we've heard the album, and and we know what it sounds like. But was there ever any doubt as to whether or not you guys should have stuck with the same sound? Was there any doubt, or did you guys just like, screw it? This is how we started. This is the sound that we want, and we just stuck with it, even though you guys had such a long hiatus. Was there ever any concern of like, maybe we should, for lack of a better description, was there any talk about updating your sound?
I take first, but Ari say the next. Ari has made a guitar calling Ariette, but I say I have a 70s Gretsch, and I never, ever changed my sound about that. That's a drummer voice. Now, Ari, say you something about guitars and bass, but drums never change. I have the silver glitter 70s sound Gretsch. That is a proper drum kit for a thrash metal. And now, Ari, say something about the guitar and stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you. I think when we put the band back together, it was the idea was to continue from where we left it. So we didn't think about updating our sound at all, and we didn't think that between the albums either. So it was really, really natural. I think we didn't even stop between the albums. We just kept writing songs because we were so excited about it. It was so much fun. And
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and that's why we sound the way we sound. We don't really plan anything. I've been thinking now that maybe we should consider some changes for the third album, but I'm not sure if that's a good way to go. Maybe we should just go with the flow like we had so far.
Yeah,
I think, yeah,
well,
I definitely,
I
I
would
definitely
agree
think
with
that's a good call. Yeah, I think that's a good call.
that. I mean,
I think that every album that we do are stamp on the time that we made it. So it's never the same. There's always something new in it.
right,
Yeah, there's always some changes, but not in a way that it was planned or anything.
Yeah.
I think has a lot to do with lyrics. The lyrics reflect the times. Like
Yeah.
Pestilence was obviously inspired by the pandemic, and there has been a lot of war news lately. I'm sure that's also on the record. Maybe
That's
in a
right.
song like Oblivion, and
Yeah, the
so there's
Mastermind.
Mastermind as well,
Well,
and the
that's actually
religion thing. Yeah, go ahead.
that's actually one of the things I kind of like about a lot of the track names on the album. You know, because you're talking about Pestilence is an song title that you guys have been sitting on from the beginning. But the funny thing is you know, it's the name of it's a name of a song that can be that can basically be used in any era. So that's what I like about a lot of the track names. You know, Fear, Pestilence, Narcissist, Blind Faith, Oblivion, Mastermind.
those things
So,
are
I
always
mean,
there. So.
yeah. So I
Yeah.
mean, you could probably sit here and look at the track listing and say that's probably at least 7 out of 10 of
Yeah. Somehow.
of the tracks
Some.
could have been relevant in 89, could have been relevant in
Yeah.
2023, could be relevant 10 or 15 years from now. So that's actually another thing I liked about a lot of the track names too.
Yeah, you know, a lot of things that Christian sings about is those themes. They don't really like have a solution or those problems that he's singing about. They just continue on with the human race. It's
Right.
Yeah.
I
History
get your point.
repeats itself.
It's timeless in that sense.
Timeless.
Like
Yeah.
corporeal abhorrence is about animal abuse and those things that they just are and continue being.
Yeah. Unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's big over here right now is gun control. But you know, you can take the gun out of a criminal's hand, but you're also taking it out of a citizen's hand that could be, you know, that could save a life in a situation, you know, similar to what we deal with. So, and then at the end, we look at things too. It's like I always look at the things. I'm like, okay, why is there a reason why this is a news story when this probably happens, you know, at least 2 or 3 times a week somewhere else, you know, so you know, to me, it's kind of a narrative pusher more than anything. It's like I don't even watch the news anymore because it's just bullshit.
Either. Yeah,
it's just all bullshit. Honestly, I get most of my American news from overseas because they seem to report more on true happenings than we do. So if I ever want to know,
even news become political these days.
You get after 1 hour. Wow.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, we kind of just go with the flow. So
I mean, before we came here, we were like, how are we going to talk for an hour? We are from Finland. We don't really do small talk or anything like that.
We definitely just kind of
seems to be working.
Yeah, we've had some bands just take over the show too. So you know, we've had some 3-hour shows where they just kind of took off, and I'm just like, okay, it's your platform. So
So we've had some very seamless interviews, like you say, where you know we just basically
animated. We've had some animated ones too.
Yes, we have. Yeah, we have.
Jason, there's a lesson for you. Mitä kuuluu?
What was that?
I think you have to translate that, Assu.
Mitä kuuluu? It's your up to go to Google and say, ask you how you are doing. Mitä kuuluu?
How are you in Finland?
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, okay. I'm going to write that down so I can remember the next Finnish band that comes in.
Yeah.
Just so I can look like I know what I'm doing, you know?
Yeah, that's right. Mitä kuuluu?
Mitä kuuluu?
Yeah, you're doing very good.
This is one of the things we always talk about. Of course, you guys obviously haven't toured, but Kristen, you said you toured with some of your older bands.
Yeah. Well, we played quite a lot of gigs, but we didn't like have a tour when we had all planned before the gigs and all before it happened.
So is there any kind of thing with those gigs that kind of stand out as far as like a crazy story or anything like that? Or
I think there's plenty of things that happened, but I don't know how much I remember about those.
Didn't you go play in Belgium or Denmark or somewhere like that?
No, we went to the Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Oh, Holland. Okay, yeah.
Holland, yeah. It was a good gig and pretty crazy night after that. I drank the tap water because I couldn't get the water from the bar, and I was so thirsty, and I needed to drink something else than beer. I think that messed up my stomach, and
oh no,
weird things happened.
It became a black metal show.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Well, not in the States.
Yeah. It became a Guar show without props, right? It was actually puke and crap, I guess. But it's so funny you brought that up because the very first guest we ever had on the show, which was wild to me, is like we brought that up and about the road stories, and that was the first one that came to his mind was he shitted himself, and I'm just like, wow, dude, like you just don't come out with that, like, all right, cool.
He had no issue telling us about it.
No, he didn't. No embarrassment at all, like putting that out there. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome. But hey, man,
I think
things happen you can't control, so it's kind of like
I think all of us in this band we all have played a lot of gigs with local bands and regional bands, but so it wouldn't be a problem for us to play live with Arched Fire too, but we'll see. I'm kind of looking forward to it actually. If we get some proper gigs with some good bands, then I think it would be great.
Well, like I said, there's a lot of surprisingly, within Zulu was talking about that. I kind of looked up and was looking at thrash metal bands from Finland. It's a pretty extensive list. So it's kind of surprising that they're more black and death metal with all the thrash metal bands that are actually over there. It's like, wow. And of course, we talk about the United States, but excuse me, but we know Finland's nowhere near the size of the States either. So that's always a thing to look at too. So
yeah, I think there was this band called Stone that made quite an impact on Finnish youth, and after that there was a lot of thrash metal bands.
Yeah, that was in 88, 89. Do you know the band Children of Bodom?
Yep.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, love Children of Bodom.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the second guitar player Roope. He was he's like the godfather of Finnish thrash metal. He was in the band Stone, and he kind of created the whole scene here.
Well, it's all got to start. It's all got to start somewhere. One of my one of my favorite Finnish bands, and they're not around anymore, unfortunately. I know the singer's still around, but was Sentenced. They broke up in 2005.
Oh yeah.
So so I think Ville is still around. I know he was in Poison Black for a little while after Sentence broke up in 2005, but I don't know if I haven't checked lately to see if Poison Black is still around, but I know Ville is still around.
Yeah, I think he did a solo album in Finnish just like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
So he's still making music, and I think the guys in his band are the same guys that were in Poison Black, so they are kind of still doing it, but in Finnish.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I had kind of lost track of Poison Black for a little while, but as far as Sentence goes, I have like downstairs, even downstairs on the shelf right now in my collection, I've got like I think maybe like 6 of their CDs on the shelf right now. So, so Sentenced was probably for me one of the first Finnish bands I remember,
I think what
coming across back in
it,
the, let's see, probably back when I was still in high school, probably mid to late 90s, somewhere around in there.
yeah.
With I think with the Frozen album, right around there.
Hmm.
So yeah, I was a huge fan of Sentence, and I hated to see them break up, but
I think a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially if they're following the metal community as long as we have, when you bring up the Finnish metal scene, of course, Children of Bottom is one of the names that kind of come out. But I also think Amorphous is probably one of the bigger names that kind of stick out too. So,
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
it's funny. I don't think was it you or someone who mentioned about Stone in Finland?
It was
It's
me.
Yeah.
funny. My how you say, my grandmother live in Kuopio, Kuopio, and I go to the library and get the Stone cassette from the library, and there I start thinking about, hey, we made this same like 5 years ago, but they are good.
Mm.
And
It
Stone
was actually one of the
Ari, how much, like 10 years, 15 years, 10 years, was Stone up in Finland. And I think that we can make the same, but then we stop. And now we are like, I think we are like Stone now. We are coming back. But Stone guys do the different things now. But it was like a pump. You know, you can do it again and again and again.
yeah.
I think one of the great things
And my
about
dream is that we make Acid Fire, Cassette, and the Black Album LP. But you know, I don't know. Maybe the third is made of digital CD and LP. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
But I want that LP sometime in my hand, which says Arcade Fire.
yeah, well, I mean the new album has obviously gotten some great reviews over here in the States. So it definitely, I think you guys are definitely on. Like I said, you're on the right track to breaking it. So, you know, we just don't say that either. Just so you know, I mean, we've kind of brought that up with a German band on here. We interviewed last year called Hexed, and then now they're, you know, we said, you know, you guys are on the verge of breaking it, and like now they're like, if you go and look at the news over there, they're like on everything, dude. I'm just like,
no,
man,
that's cool.
I didn't realize when I said you're on the verge of breaking it, like you were on the verge of breaking. I didn't realize it was going to be. I didn't realize it was going to be that quick. I mean, it was pretty amazing to see, and I'm just like, man, it just makes me so happy to see a band that we talked to and had so much faith in to be there to actually get where they deserve to be. So
yeah, they've been winning awards and been getting added to festival lineups and stuff like that. Yeah,
and I can definitely see this happening for Archfire. I definitely do. You know, you guys just keep pushing that music out there, and I'm sure everything's going to fall into place for you guys. So.
And hell, we'll keep pushing it.
Thank you.
Well, fuck yeah! I mean, so just so you know, like we continually promote bands that we talk to on here. Like we're you know, we've been doing this is our 3rd year now, and we've been this is our 2nd year doing actual interviews. We kind of wanted to build up the platform before we started jumping into interviewing bands, because we want to make sure we had an audience that actually could you know,
that we could reach.
And potentially be new fans to bands like you guys. So.
And you know, hell about the years we were born. you can be a star even when you're 70.
Exactly. Yeah. Music doesn't have an age limit. So he just, it's,
No, it doesn't.
and, and a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
times,
great that it's great that you guys do this because it's often difficult to get to do interviews and stuff because people expect you to be popular,
right.
to have you included in the media. So it's really difficult to put your name forward. But
Mhm.
thanks to people like you, it could happen.
Yeah, and that's what we try to do. We try to like put bands out there that we think that people should know more about. So,
Yeah.
we think, hey, man, this is a
It's a
big
great
band. You
thing.
guys should check them out. So, we've shared, music, and of course, we did the album review. So it's kind of a, I've kind of brought your names up a couple of times to
Thank you so much.
actually a band that we had on the show called Extinction AD. They come out every week and say, hey, what are you guys listening to? And I usually,
Oh,
I'll tell them,
cool.
and Archfire was the thing I was
Yep.
listening to that week, and Rick Jimenez, the guitarist there, was just like, cool, I'll check them out. So
Yeah.
he's
Oh, wow.
actually
Thank
checked
you.
out some stuff and then gave us
Wow, that sounds good.
yeah. So
Wow.
so the good thing that we've kind of created some band relationships while doing this. So
Yeah.
which is pretty
Yeah.
awesome. And we've actually gotten some. It's so funny. We've actually interviewed a band out of Scotland called Devil DVL, and they kind of sound like a Ben Sevenfold, and that was we've got inside jokes with those guys from the show.
Mhm.
Excuse me, and we mentioned Hex, and we've actually got an inside joke with those guys from
Yep.
from the show. So
Yes, we do.
it's funny that we've kind of like created a relationship with a lot of these bands and created a memory that we can hold on to too. So
Yep.
we
Yeah,
definitely
it's
appreciate.
Wow.
like building a global scene. That's a very
Exactly.
valuable
That's
thing.
exactly
Yeah.
that's exactly what we're trying to do. One interview at a time. We're trying to, because it's like Jason said, we between the two of us, he and I mean, we started this 3 years ago, basically not on a whim, but because we had talked about it for a while, but we decided to start the show because we were hanging out one Friday night, and we were listening to some music, and we stumbled on a song from a band that he and I had never heard before, but had been around since 1985. So
Mm.
we were, between the two of us, we were kind of frustrated at the fact that there are bands out there that have been around for 10, 20 plus years that if we hadn't heard of them, being the metalheads that we are, then who else hadn't heard some of these bands, and why, and what can we do about it? So we decided to start the show, and we decided for our focus to be on bands that needed more exposure, and at the same time, just the two of us, we're just regular people who go to work every day, and we just happen to be huge heavy metal fans. So we're trying to make a name for ourselves while trying to help bands with
Right.
a name get their name out there. So that's
Yeah,
what our
that's
focus.
brilliant.
That's what our focus has been from day one.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's win-win situation.
But still, you co-open and looking for bands you like. You don't just take extreme something, but there's bands you like. So we are not just a bingo ball, all Finland, but
Right.
you like Arctic Fire.
Hell yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
That's why we are here. It's
Exactly.
not, it's like a Kam Bam Bam Boom Boo from Australia because you want to be, but
Right.
you like us.
Well, I mean, you look at this. If you some of the bigger names and the interviewers over here is like Eddie Trunk and Jose. Man, what's his last name? Mangillo or something like that. I don't know, but anyway, you got a couple of big time interviewers over here. Lou Brutus.
Yeah.
But
That's what I meant.
yeah, man, how many of those interviewers are doing interviews with bands they actually care about. I mean, they're probably doing it because somebody's in their ear going, "Hey, this is who we got coming on. Do your research."
Mhm.
Yeah, and it's also a lot of 80s nostalgia with those guys.
exactly, and that's kind of like one of the things we looked at is like there's not a lot of shows out here doing what we do, and that's kind of like why we decided to do it the way we do it. And like I said, you can bring on the Dave Mustaines and the James Hetfields and all that stuff, but I mean, like I said, you're not going to hear anything that you probably don't already know,
Right?
Unless something happened within the last year that they haven't talked about. But it's like you want to put out this. We just need to let people know there's more to this industry and this genre of music than just what you hear on the mainstream, and in the loud wires and the blabbermouths and all that stuff. There's more to it than what they're going to put in front of you.
It's a great way to keep this thing alive, because you need new bands to keep it alive and bring it forward. It can't always be about the giants and the big fours and all that.
Well, I mean, they're not going to be around forever, so somebody's got to be there to pick up the pieces. I mean, you got Priest and Iron Maiden and all those guys in their late 60s and early 70s. I mean,
I was just thinking about the Priest. Maybe it's going to be around forever. The guys are just changing. New guys keep coming in.
Yeah. Or you can do what Kiss is trying to do, and they're going to get 4 new guys and just give them the whole gimmick, and say, "Here, run with it." Of course they're going to make their money off of it, I'm sure. But
would be interesting to see. Would be interesting to see if it works. I mean, would people still go see them?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at some point they would have to put out new music to get newer fans because
I
mean, right now they're just touring over stuff from like 14, 15, something like that. I think it's the last new album they've had out. So
so you're talking 10 years ago minimum.
Jason, are you your co-host? Are you a musician?
A musician? Oh no, by no means.
You're just a radio person.
Yeah. I just like to rub my mouth, man. So
never play anything.
So I did play bass when I was in a band when I was 15, but I haven't probably played anything in let's see, I'm 40, probably like 30 years maybe. I don't know. So
what quit? There was 3 strings too much, or why you quit?
I think it was well, what happened was I was at this show and they turned my amp down to 0 and I got pissed off.
You want to join the band?
Sorry, I'm a drummer. I just must ask that there was too many strings for you.
There was too many. Yeah,
you're a drummer. You're not a musician either.
You know how
touche, Ari, touche.
Yeah, you know how Jason was talking about other bands and inside jokes a minute ago? There we go.
Now we got an inside joke with Arch.
Too bad Mika didn't join us.
He done Metallica, the bass player over there.
I think he tried, but it went up in the backstage.
So they Metallica the bass player and turned the shit down. So for the we're gonna adjust on justice. Yeah, we're gonna adjust this for all your ass and turn.
That's right. Yeah.
You're just over there hitting strings and not making no music. So
that's right.
I apologize, Jason.
Oh no, you're fine, man. It's all in fun.
Oh yeah, we joke around. Yeah, we joke around all the time.
Yeah.
I actually left when we left that band because our guitarist formed a band and then he moved to Kentucky, and it was hard to get together and do anything. And the other people in the band just kind of fell apart, and then I was just kind of sitting there holding my bass, going, "Okay, what the fuck am I going to do?" So I just I turned to a different.
Jason, you just play Stay with the Heavens and that what the fuck the other people are.
I should have just wrote a song. It was all bass line called "Where'd Everybody Go."
Yeah.
They go to bar. They go to bar. I can say.
I actually turned to a life of pro wrestling, and I actually was a pro wrestler for 18 years. So that's
Okay. Yeah.
Did you?
kind of kind of what I did. So
what was that like?
Well, if you ask 25-year-old me, it was the greatest time of my life. If you ask 45-year-old me, it was the worst fucking thing I ever did. But
yeah, it must be a rough profession.
It's definitely costing me a lot of chiropractor bills and my massage therapy. So
yeah.
We used to watch pro wrestling back in the day when we had the first Arcade Fire lineup. So it was on TV. We had a cable TV, and I used to watch Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man, and all those guys.
And we go, Mika and I go to Ari always because he has only the cable, and we watch the same videos.
I was the only one with MTV and all that.
Yeah.
He said he's down with the Macho Man. Yeah.
he was the god. Ari was the god of Kemijärvi back then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's
oh.
Yeah, so we actually we definitely don't want to keep you guys no longer than we need to here. So I know you guys you still got Christian outside wandering around. He's going to wind up
he's going to wind up.
He's walking pretty far.
He's going to wind up. He's going to have.
Don't know if I know how to get back home.
He's going to have the.
And we don't have a singer anymore.
He's going to have the.
He's lost in the woods.
Yeah.
He's gonna end up in Sweden if he keeps walking.
Well, yeah.
That might be.
You'll have the calves of a bicyclist by the time he's back there.
Right.
I'm in a Swedish metal band now.
Or he's going to run up on a Sasquatch out in the woods somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Or he's going to run up on, like he said, a Norwegian black metal band.
Yeah.
Shoot the videos.
And they'll kill him.
Yeah. They'll sacrifice him. Yeah, they sacrifice him because he's not wearing any corpse paint.
Yeah.
If I can say something about to America, you're kind of a funny guys. Keep that coming.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Can we be friends?
Yeah.
I thought we already were, Aslak.
Yeah, we.
I was
Jason, and you go. What's your name? The ghost.
I'm Chris.
Yeah.
Can we be friends? Because you never have too much friends.
No, you can't.
You're exactly right.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, and I love making friends with the bands in the interviews that
yeah.
I even usually
because I even invite you to come to Jyväskylä sauna with me, both of you.
I'd be there.
Oh yeah,
I'd be there.
I'm down with the sauna, so
I'd be there.
But yeah, hopefully,
I have a Norwegian black metal story to wrap this up. I used to live in Turku, which is a city in southern Finland. And one day I was walking down the street, and this van backed up from a corridor, and it always ran me over. I almost hurt myself. And then when I took a look who's inside, it was Mayhem, the band. They almost killed me with their van. Yeah.
They didn't get that name for just an accident, right?
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It was an accident. Yeah. I almost was included in the bloody Norwegian black metal history that day.
That's a great story. It's short, but it was a great story.
So the good thing is, if they would have hit you, you'd have been like, well, you got to compensate me, man. Just let me in the band.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, like maybe you guys can kind of use some of your past contacts and stuff and try to get some gigs together. It'd be awesome to see some live stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I think we try to do that.
And then maybe sometime in the future, maybe you guys can swing over to the States or whatever. But
that would be amazing.
I know that's a big ask this day and time with the visas and everything. But,
touring costs and all that other stuff.
I just seen where Machine Head had to cancel their shows because of their members.
I saw that this morning.
Over here. Like, man, that's messed up. So.
Yep, I saw that this morning.
You even got it's bad. Like I said, it's even bad. Like when you talk about bands like Anthrax and stuff like that trying to do stuff over in Europe and they can't even get a bus to rent to go do their stuff. And that's pretty unreal to me. It's like you got a band that big, it can't even get a bus, which is crazy.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Jason, don't forget it. I am a god like Charlie Benanti.
That's right. That's right.
It's a one review. It's a one review.
Hey, if one person says that though, that's definitely not bad company.
Not at all.
It fly me 20 years. It fly me 20 years.
Yeah. But yeah, so think about the smaller bands. If these bigger bands are having those issues, and smaller bands are going to have the same thing. So it's and I hate that for bands that are up and coming like you guys and other bands that we've talked to, that if they can't get out there and promote their music, I mean that's kind of where you kind of make your money. So
yeah.
You're not gonna get rich off of Spotify. That's for fucking sure. So
hell no.
Yeah. Or CD sales. If you want to make
the bad thing I like is about CDs is ordering them from here. It's like almost as much to have it shipped as it is for the cost of the CD. So
that's
crazy.
That's true.
It's almost the same price
crazy prices
to ship it. Yeah.
Jason, from my heart, I praise that you even never call us. I love you.
Yeah, man.
It's a 1 in a million that it's a 1 in a million that 50-year-old guy being asked for your show, and I'm praised.
Well, we appreciate all of you guys taking your time out of your day to come on here. I mean, it's
thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure. Nice talking to you.
Yep, the pleasure was ours.
Hopefully, when you guys get the third album out, we can do this again to kind of promote that.
Definitely,
that would be wonderful. Yeah. Let's keep in touch.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said. Like I usually, like a lot of people that I've talked to in the past has been on social media, and I know I kind of emailed you guys. So, but I'll definitely keep in contact with you guys, and I'll follow you guys on your socials anyway. So hopefully, if anything pops up, I'll be able to talk about it and share that on the show, because we have a lot of listeners over in Europe, so we try to promote as much.
Put our media, your street address, you get our T-shirt.
We'll do.
We'll do. We absolutely do.
Yeah, we're going to do it wherever we can to make sure that we get into many people's ears about Archfire as we can. So,
absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jason, so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Like I said, I appreciate you guys taking your time out of your evening. I know it's a little bit late over there, or well, not really late, but it's kind of the wind down period. I know this time. I know your time tonight over here. I'm going to be by a fire pit with a beer in my hand. So, and probably listening to some new metal music. So that's kind of
that's almost a guarantee. That's a guarantee.
That's funny. That's how this thing kind of started. Is we were listening to some music on around the fire pit, and was like, the fuck is this? It's like,
that's how it all started.
That's a good way to start. Yeah.
And then we turn on the bands like Archfire. So we actually you guys can thank Heavy Music HQ for that, because they're the ones that kind of supply us with the albums that come out, and we kind of go through.
Do you play the funeral song? If you play the funeral song, play Artificial Sun.
Artificial Sun.
Whose funeral?
glad you kind of brought that up because I'm actually in talks with a internet radio station right now, and they're trying to give us a 2-hour block to where we can play some music on there. So, and that's definitely what we're going to do. We're going to actually, probably put playlists together that are bands that we think need to be heard. So,
absolutely, yeah,
cool.
So
Put one of our songs there.
Our Fire, we're definitely be in that playlist. So,
oh god,
oh, that's great.
Jason, can I show you something before we stop?
For sure.
Can you see it?
See what?
Your
What
tongue?
It's a puff.
Oh, no.
It's a puff and the nose.
Oh, okay.
Can you see it? Can you see it?
Oh, it's a tattoo.
Yeah.
It's a puff and the beaklet.
Yep.
Oh,
puff
Winnie
and the beaklet says that
Piglet, yeah.
end and the begin.
Okay.
Awesome. But hey, guys, like I said, we appreciate you guys taking your time out to do this. And like I said, anything that pops up on you guys' socials, I'll be glad to share that on ours. And
me too.
If you guys want to come over, we have a group over on our thing, Metalheads Unite. Any of you guys are welcome to come over here and promote your stuff. That's what we're there for. So,
that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
We actually have a band from over there that's on our thing that posts stuff all the time. So, they actually have a little mini fest going on over in Europe somewhere that they post. They've been posting for like a week now. So,
yeah, they have.
They have. They've been promoting the shit out of it over there. So, but we do have a lot of following over there. So. So if you guys are welcome to use that as a platform to promote whatever you guys are working on. So
all right, we'll do.
We're here for your promotional needs. So
that's fantastic. Thank you, guys.
Again, thank you guys.
Thank you, really, guys. That was a pleasant.
If you haven't, if any of you listening haven't picked up or listened to the Archfire new album. The Trust Betrayal. It just came out, and you can also go back and listen to Remote Control that came out in 2021. I think you like I said, I think you guys would like both of them, but definitely listen to the new album. It's really special, I think. So,
thanks.
Wise words.
Nice, bro.
Thanks, I was like, all right, Christian. Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you so much,
Christian. Hope your GPS works where you can get back to your car. But
yeah,
call me and I come pick you up.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm running out of battery. Also.
See you next time.
Oh yeah. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Hopefully we can talk again soon.
Yeah. Have a great night, you guys. We appreciate you coming on.
Rock and roll, man.
Have a good day.
You.
Thanks, man.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
All right. Man, good stuff, man.
So good. So good. Telling you, man. I mean, I've said it before, and after talking to another band from over there, I'll say it again, man. Scandinavia, they crank out the metal, man. I'm not. I know you, and I know, but there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people out there who I don't think know even like the tip of the iceberg from Europe and Scandinavia. I really don't think they do.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I appreciate you taking time out of your day too, because I know we've talked about this, and that's one of the reasons we moved to Friday night is so you could use your Saturday. And to me too, I kind of woke up early this morning too.
Earlier than you wanted to.
Yeah. Hey man, if it's for a band, dude, I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down to do it.
Me too.
Whatever we can work out. And like I said, that was a great group of guys there, man.
Oh yeah.
I wish nothing but the best for them. Hopefully, they can get some gigs together and get that music put out there, man. That's
hopefully, like you said, hopefully when the next album comes out, we can have them back on, and hopefully Janne and Mika can be on next time too. So
that'd be cool.
To the other two guys.
Yeah, that'd be cool too. So
yeah, it would.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview. We're not going to go into any content this week just because of the interview, but we will definitely be back next Friday night. Hopefully, unless another interview comes up, we'll see. But I don't mind doing the interviews since they're not that long. But
right.
But yeah, so hopefully we'll be if like I said, if nothing happens, I know I got a couple of irons in the fire still, so you can't never tell. Like it was so crazy with Halo Scars. We had that iron in the fire for months, and then they all of a sudden they're like, "Hey man, we got time now." I'm like, "Oh shit, I forgot about you guys."
Then you gotta be like, "Oh yeah, great, cool, yeah, we've been
let's set it up." So,
which I mean isn't a lie. We were looking forward to it, but yeah, it's just one of those things where you kind of lose, for one reason or the other, you lose touch, and it happens. It happens.
Those guys just opened up for the band Cold last night, so that's pretty big
out there in Knoxville. Yeah.
And another band that we kind of talk about on here. I did their album review. I think last year was Trauma, and they opened up for Queensryche last night. And dude, let me tell you, man, Trauma, dude, is so fucking amazing live.
Yeah. Oh, I listened to that album. I listened to it 2 or 3 times. It was amazing.
Yeah, and for those guys to be around since the '80s too is kind of like I said. There's all these bands that's around since the '80s that a lot of people may not know of. But and then Trauma was running around the thing just like nothing after the show. It was like
hanging out,
running into hey. So,
just hanging out.
Yeah. Then our buddy Jack Gibson was in the audience, so that's pretty
nice.
Yeah. And I seen Chris Zinzak from Decibel Geek there too. So
oh shit, all right.
So there was a lot of people there. I seen Victor, but I didn't get a chance to talk to him. I was trying to get his attention. He has some kind of eye surgery. He was telling me so.
Maybe cataracts, I believe.
Yeah, so maybe that's why he didn't see me or whatever. But
yeah, maybe not.
But he was like he vanished. Like I was watching the last song for Queensryche, and I was going to go over and talk to him. And I said, "Where the hell did he go?" So I have to give him a hard time about that when I talk to him again.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the interview. We will be back next Friday night with our normal stuff with the news and the playlist and all that good stuff for you guys. Like I said, unless something comes up with a band, and we'll figure something out. But like I said, I could do this every week if this is all we're doing. But anyway, I know Chris has got a day ahead of him, and so do I. So I guess
we're working on it.
We'll end this thing, and we'll hopefully see you guys back here next Friday, 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. And until then, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can. See you guys.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.